What's she doing?
I don't know.
She looks like a witch.
Amy Dewhurst. She was a patient of mine. Died a few months ago. What a weird thing to do, though. You sure it wasn't the kids just messing about?
Well, they would hardly have flagged down the first passing copper.
Was it damaged at all?
Probably dampened her spirits a bit, I should think.
What did you do with it?
Well, I put it back, of course.
You better let the family know. I've got an address.
Right.
Was your aunt ever frightened by an Irishman?
An Irishman?
Oh, this thing she obviously had for all things green.
She said she found it very restful.
Yeah, one word for it. Suppose we were right, were we? You know, to move in ourselves?
It'll be worth a fortune once we've done it up properly.
Yeah, possibly. I'll say one thing for this place.
It's green.
It's pretty damn big. Pretty damn cold as well. Oh, great. Would you like a hand?
Thanks, Aunt Nancy. You'll not have some with us?
No, thank you.
So, Where's the urn now, then?
Back where it belongs, Mrs. Salter, and no harm done as far as I can see. You're Miss Dewhurst's niece, aren't you?
Great niece, yes.
And she lived here with you, did she?
Well, with Aunt Nancy, actually. Until Aunt Amy died, and then everything came to me as the only surviving relative.
For the last 10 years, I've been in the music business down south.
Oh, I see.
This woman these kids saw, would they recognise her again, do you think?
Well, the little girl thought she was a witch. She was all dressed in black from head to foot.
Really?
Rings a bell, does it, that description?
Could do. Aunt Nancy?
Could she be in her room?
Well, she doesn't live here. Not anymore. Not since Aunt Amy died.
You see, Nancy's at Marjorie's real aunt, just a late aunt's companion.
So when you moved in, she had to move out?
Well, it was made quite clear to her she could take as long as she liked to find somewhere of her own. And we kept her on. She still does the housekeeping here just to keep her in funds.
After all, she could hardly have stayed on permanently. I mean, it's not as if she's family. It'd be a bit odd.
Where's she living now?
She rents a cottage down on Watermeadow Lane.
Nice little place. Ideal, really, for somebody on their own.
Yes.
I'm Claude.
I know you are.
Once seen, never forgotten, eh?
What do you want?
I've just formed a new company. I've got no cards yet, but we do agricultural and domestic servicing.
You are?
Odd jobs. Have you got out you want doing?
Oh, I could do some wood chopping, I suppose.
Ah, that'll do.
You're not really going to scoff all that, are you, Alf?
Good God, no. What I thought to do for a change was push it up my nose with a pencil.
Only you're going to have to get yourself in shape, you know.
What?
Well, you've heard about this latest bright idea of Crosley's, haven't you? From now on, all officers have to attend at least 2 PT sessions a week.
No, give over.
That's right, you know. There's a notice up on board.
Miss Bella?
It is.
P.C. Rowan, Aidensville Police.
Oh, yes.
Can we have a word, do you think?
I know nothing about a funeral urn.
So where were you this morning, Miss Bella?
Up at the house.
And you were there all morning, were you?
Yes.
You didn't by any chance drop in on the cemetery on your way over there, did you?
And why would I do that?
Pay your respects, perhaps?
To what? An urn?
The problem is, Miss Bella, we do have 3 children who witnessed the incident. They told us that a woman fitting your description was responsible.
Then they were obviously mistaken, weren't they, young man? Hmm?
What are you up to, Claude?
Earning a living.
You haven't done anything really stupid, I hope, Rowan? Like charging her?
Well, I thought I'd see what you thought first, Sarge.
Well, you have cautioned her, right? You have put the fear of God up her.
Well, I've warned her anyway.
So then, let's leave it at that, shall we?
Right.
Unless, of course, she starts making a habit of running around churchyards, chucking urns away. Daft old bat.
What do you think of Crosley's latest brainwave then, Nick?
What's that, Alf?
About us all having to keep fit.
Really? It's all up there on the board, Nick. Now, what you want to do, Alf, is break yourself in gently at first with a few early morning runs. That's right, isn't it, Nick?
That's right, yeah.
And, of course, cutting back the fags to 80 a day can only help, you know.
You're going to give him a heart attack.
No, he's had a heart attack already. Just reading it.
Oh, I suppose today, I suppose we will. If I'm gonna go on, I suppose.
You know old Nancy Bellow, don't you?
Only as a patient.
You don't think it was her, do you?
Well, everything points to her.
I thought that whole business was wrapped up now.
Well, it is. Officially. Just bothers me a bit, that's all.
Why don't you sleep on it, love?
I'm not that tired.
All right, come on.
Come on! Come on!
You got me so I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah, you really got me now. You got me so I can't sleep at night.
Yeah.
Yeah, you really
Kate!
you got me so I don't know what
Come on! Hang on, love. It's all right. We're coming.
don't ever set me free. I always wanna be by your side. Girl, you really got me now. You got me so I can't sleep at night. Yeah, you really got me now. You got me so I don't know what I'm doing.
Mr. Salter!
Never mind about me. It's my wife. Upstairs in the bedroom.
It looks like food poisoning.
Do you know what caused it?
Impossible to say yet. But the only thing either of them can remember having all day is some soup.
Go on then. You going there? No, John. Suppose she turns you into something. Not chicken either. Might be a chicken she turns him into. Quack, 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 quack. Leave him chicken.
Did you know Mr. and Mrs. Salter were in hospital?
Hospital?
Admitted during the night with food poisoning.
Are they going to be all right?
Oh, yes, I think so. But I want to try and find out what caused it. That's why I'm here, actually.
Oh.
You see, according to Mr. Salter, the only thing either of them can remember having all day is some soup.
I'm sure that won't have done anybody any harm. I make all my own soups.
Can you tell me exactly what you made it with, Nancy?
Potatoes, leeks, onions, a few homegrown herbs, Nothing that would poison anybody. I had a bowl of it myself.
And was there any left over?
No.
What about the pan you made it in?
Washed and put away. Just like everything else when I've finished cooking.
Right. Well, thanks for your help. I'm afraid when something like this happens, I have to ask these sort of questions. Oh, and don't worry about Mr. and Mrs. Salter. They'll be back on their feet in a couple of days. Bye-bye.
Witch's cat. She's coming. What? Wait, come on. Oh!
Flaming kids.
Of course, you can get your body back in shape these days without even moving out of your chair, you know, Alf.
Can I?
Of course you can. I mean, they're all at it in America, you know. All the top lads. Morning, sir.
Bellamy?
Sir, Sergeant Blaketon's out.
Then he'll have no objection to my using his office for a bit, will he, Bellamy?
I won't bet the corner of the realm on that, neither.
Arsenic poisoning?
Not in the sort of dosage that would kill anybody, but strong enough to make them pretty poorly for a couple of days.
Well, how have they come into contact with arsenic?
It could be something they were using in the home, I suppose.
They're still in hospital, aren't they?
Not for long. They've made a good recovery.
Right, a bit of a word.
So, you've seen Marjorie?
Oh, yes.
Is she all right?
Coming home tomorrow, she thinks.
Yes, that's what I've been told. Oh, hello, Mr. Rowan.
Mr. Salter, Miss Bellow.
Morning. Anyway, I'll be off. Oh, and I brought you these.
Thanks very much.
Bye now.
Bye.
How you feeling?
Better than I did, at least. Look, thanks. I think you and your wife saved our lives, you know.
All part of the service. Look, you do know it was arsenic poisoning?
I do, yeah.
Any idea what might have caused it?
None whatsoever.
Were you using any rat poison?
We haven't got rats.
Anything in the garden that might have a poison base?
I haven't been near the garden yet. As I said, the only thing either of us can remember having yesterday was the soup.
Well, if you think of anything else, give me a call, eh?
I'll do that.
Thanks. Bye then.
Bye.
You all right, Alf?
Me?
You look a bit red.
I can't think why.
Sorry, sir. I was looking for Sergeant Blaketon.
Something you need a word about, is there, Rowan?
Not really, sir. It'll keep.
Tell me anyway.
Well, it's probably something and nothing, really, sir.
Go on.
Well, it all started with some old biddy vandalising a funeral urn. And now we've got 2 people in hospital with arsenic poisoning.
Really?
Something wrong with your wrist, then, is there, Ventris?
Well, I think I probably sprained it, Sarge.
As long as you're not thinking of taking any time off on the strength of it.
I think it's about time you had another word with Miss Bellow.
In fact, I'll tell you what, we'll both go.
Something I can help you with, is there, sir?
I wouldn't have thought so, Sergeant. Right then, Rowan. Let's get over there, shall we?
Right then. So?
Sarge. Sarge.
Yes, Fentress.
About these keep fit sessions, Sarge. I can't see myself able to do much with this wrist, you know.
What keep fit sessions?
Well, you stuck the notice up on the board, Sarge, from Inspector Crosley.
I did, Fentress.
Yes, Sarge.
Are you sure about this?
Well, somebody did.
Just one look, that's all it took, yeah. Just one look, that's all it took, yeah. Just one look, and I felt so I'm in love with you. Oh, I found out how good it feels to have your love. Oh, say you will. I will be mine forever and always.
Let me see.
All right, what's your game? Hey, come here, come here, come here. What do you think you're doing?
Get off me, will ya? Yeah! Leave me brother alone, you big fat lump! Kick his dog, will ya?
Hey, don't even think about it, and you two, come here.
We weren't doing any harm.
No, just mithering the living daylights out of that poor old lady, right?
'Cause she's a witch, that's why.
Oh, is she? Show you a broomstick, did she?
All witches don't have broomsticks.
All the ones I know of. In any case, you're talking daft. I mean, all she is something you three are going to be one of these days. Old. I mean, she's not always looked like that, you know. No more than I've always looked like this. I mean, I used to open the betting for Yorkshire.
You did?
Ah, look at me now. I get out of breath opening a bag of crisps. Come on. Now, sit. That's a good boy. Haven't you three got up better to do than hang about making a nuisance of yourselves?
Bet you used to muck around when you were a kid.
Oh, did I? When I was a kid, I used to go around trying to help folk, didn't I? Because I was a Boy Scout.
Did you wear shorts too, What sort of good turns did you do?
All sorts of good turns. I used to go out of my way, didn't I? Trying to find old folk who I could help. Like I could do with a bit of help now with these logs.
Ain't you getting paid for it then?
Paid? You don't think I'd charge that old lady and their money, do you, to chop up a few logs?
So how can we help then?
Well, for a start, you can put them logs in that basket.
Right. Well, come on then, you two.
Miss Bellow?
Yes.
Inspector Crossley. And you already know Constable Rowan, I believe. Could we have a quick word, do you think?
What about?
Well, just a few points I'd like to clarify. Best inside, I would have thought. So, you really hated her that much, did you, your old friend Amy?
What?
Well, you must have done. Why else do you throw a funeral urn away?
I've already told you I know nothing about that.
Miss Bellow, we have at least 3 witnesses who are prepared to swear they saw you do it.
You best talk to them then, hadn't you?
Now, look, we don't enjoy this any more than you do, you know, so why don't you do yourself a favour and stop messing us about? I'd hate to charge you for obstructing the police as well as everything else. Now, why don't you sit down? Something she once said to you, was it, Nancy? Something you've never been able to forgive or forget.
If you only knew just how badly that woman let me down.
How did she let you down, Nancy?
A lot. That's what I was promised. Everything. The house. Everything. And not surprising when you realise how I carried her around all those years. I mean, when the will was read. Nothing. Nor a penny. Nor even a decent roof over my head anymore.
Everything went to the Salters, right?
Oh, we'd hardly seen for 10 years.
And you resented that?
Wouldn't you have?
Of course I would. No wonder you lost your rag.
My rag.
In the soup, was it, Nancy?
I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm asking what you used to put Mr. and Mrs. Salter in hospital. Spot of rat poison, was it? That's usually the favourite in these cases.
You're mad.
No, no, no. You were the one who was mad, Nancy. Good and mad. So mad, in fact, you couldn't help yourself, could you? Any more than you could when you laid eyes on that funeral urn.
I tell you, I don't know what you're on about.
Got any here in the cottage, have you? Rat poison?
No.
You'll have no objection if we have a quick look around, then.
I will, you know.
Look, if you've got nothing to hide, Nancy.
Because I won't have you rooting through my things, that's why.
We can, of course, get a warrant, you understand.
Then you'd best get one, hadn't you?
As you wish, Miss Bellow. As you wish.
Sir, you don't really think she did it, do you?
Well, why not? She had the opportunity and the motive. Now, I want you to start by checking the poison registers of all likely shops in the area. But if our suspicions turn out to be entirely unjustified, then for now, it's strictly between us.
What are you talking about?
Look, according to this, Nancy bought rat poison with an arsenic base only last week. It's enough to kill a regiment.
What do you three want?
Nothing. Hey, I told my dad what you said.
What I said?
About opening battles for Yorkshire.
Oh.
He said he never heard of you. Never my dad.
Oh, well, they wouldn't have done, would they?
Why not?
Well, because people only remember Len, don't they?
Len who?
Len who? Len Hutton, of course. I mean, when people talk about Yorkshire opening bats, I mean, they only talk about Len. They don't think about the people who were blocking up the other end while they were bricking his records.
And that were you then, were it Mr. Greengrass?
Yeah, apart from when they were opening the bowling, like.
Were you a bowler as well then?
A bowler? They used to come to Headingley for miles around just to see me Chinaman. And when I bowled me googly, even Len had trouble picking it.
What's a Chinaman?
Chinaman? Oh, well, that's a bit difficult to describe, really.
Well, I'll have a word with Nancy Bellow, sir. There may be a perfectly reasonable explanation.
All in good time, Rowan, all in good time. Where are the Salters at the moment?
And they're being discharged from hospital this morning.
Right, well, when they come home, I shall want you to pay them a visit.
Right, sir.
But first, whose decision was it not to take this urn business any further?
Sergeant Blaketon, sir.
Who else?
But it was a decision that I was more than happy to go along with, sir.
But then, as a humble constable, yours is not to reason why, is it, Rowan?
Still determined to nail her, is he?
Yeah, but not just her, perhaps.
Hmm?
Well, it just seems odd that Crossley's taking such a personal interest in this case.
What are you getting at?
Oh, I don't know. I've just got this funny feeling that maybe he's got more than Nancy Bellow in his sights.
Aunt Nancy? Oh, is that for us?
Shepherd's pie for your dinner.
Only we've already had sandwiches, you see. Today, at the hospital.
Oh, yes.
In fact, I think we'll be giving dinner a miss altogether in future. Trying to lose a bit of weight, you see.
Oh, I see.
You told her?
Nancy? Nancy?
Got you back at it, has she?
My wife should have been a foreman on the pyramids. One of those with a big bullwhip.
There he goes again, fantasising.
Well, what can we do for you this time?
Just one more thing. Whose decision was it to have your aunt cremated?
Her dying wish, apparently.
Oh, right.
Well, according to Aunt Nancy, anyway.
Well, she should know.
So you'd consider her to be entirely compos mentis, would you?
Yes. A bit of an eccentric, perhaps.
What was her late companion, Amy Dewhurst, like?
More or less an invalid when I joined the practice. More tea?
No, thank you. What did she die of?
Heart failure, brought on by pernicious anemia, but principally old age.
And you saw no reason to call for an autopsy?
No, certainly not.
There were, in fact, no suspicious circumstances.
If there had been, Inspector, I'd hardly have signed the death certificate, would I? Nor would my colleague at the hospital.
Of course not. Silly question. Oh, well, must get on. Thanks very much for the tea.
You're welcome.
Oh, by the way, you wouldn't still happen to have Amy Dewhurst's old medical file anywhere, would you?
I probably have.
Any chance of a quick look at it sometime? Unless, of course, that causes you ethical problems.
Not now that she's dead, I suppose. I'll look it out for you.
Thanks. Bye, then.
Goodbye, Inspector.
Bellamy! I want all this lot cleared up before you go home tonight.
Oh, I'm sorry, Phil.
So he's been round here chatting you up then, has he, the good inspector? I can see I'm going to have to watch you two.
Don't worry, love. He's more interested in Amy Dewhurst's body than mine, I'd say.
Oh, really?
He was going on and on about her.
Well, yeah, he's had me finding out whose decision it was to have her cremated. He thinks she was poisoned as well.
It's ridiculous.
No, that's what I thought. I mean, if she had been, you'd have known, right?
Well, not necessarily. It'd depend on what she was poisoned with and the dosage. Oh, my God, Nick. Wouldn't it be terrible if she really had been poisoned? I mean, for a start, where would it leave me? As the one who'd signed the death certificate.
Well, where would it leave you?
Well, put it this way. It wouldn't do me much good, would it?
This funeral urn business, Blaketon.
Yes, sir.
As far as you were concerned, it simply wasn't worth pursuing.
Well, it's hardly the crime of the century, is it, sir? And I believe the lady in question is in her 60s.
Hardly gaga from what I've seen.
Oh, I see. You know her then, do you, sir?
We've met, yes.
Well, now, there you have the advantage over me, I'm afraid, sir.
Yes, I do, don't I, Blaketon? Do you know why? I took the trouble to check. Just in case next time she decided to do something a bit more serious than vandalize funeral urns. And you want to know something, Sergeant? It appears that she already has.
Really, sir?
Yes, Sergeant. But then that's what the job's all about, isn't it? Following up on things. Leading by example, if necessary. Because I'll tell you now, Sergeant, if you aren't prepared to do that, or if you don't feel up to doing it anymore, you're of no use to me, I'm afraid. Ah, there you are, Rowan. About time. Come on. Now, Miss Bellow, you told us yesterday that you hadn't purchased any rat poison, isn't that right?
Yes.
You bought some from the Aidensfield stores only last Tuesday?
No.
You signed the poison register, Nancy.
In fact, it wasn't the first time that you'd bought poison from there, was it, Miss Bellow? You bought a bag of the same stuff from the same store just 7 months ago.
I don't remember.
Your signatures for both purchases are in the book.
It was for the rats.
The rats, Miss Bellow.
Up at the house, we had rats.
Oh, you mean on the first occasion, right?
Yes.
Well, what about last week? Was that also for the rats?
Yes.
Really? Mr. Salter knew nothing about it.
Not for there, for here.
Oh, I see. You have rats here as well, then, do you?
I thought I'd seen something. Droppings.
Really?
It's true, I tell you. Why won't he believe me?
Let's talk about the cremation of Amy Dewhurst, shall we, Miss Bellow? Now, it was you who told the Salters it was what she'd always wanted.
It was!
It's also the perfect cover, right?
Cover?
There's absolutely no way of establishing the presence of poison in human ashes. Only what you failed to take into account was the Beardsley method, you see.
I don't understand.
It's a new forensic technique.
I tell you, I don't know what you're on about.
Miss Bellow, 7 months ago, you bought some rat poison. Then a couple of months later, Amy Dewhurst died of symptoms that could be consistent with poisoning. Last week, you bought some more poison, and this time, Amy Dewhurst's niece and her husband, two people that you openly admit to resenting bitterly, went down with poisoning. Now, if you were in our position, Miss Bellow, what conclusion would you make?
I want you to go now. I want you out of this house, do you understand?
Just think how much better you'd feel, though, Nancy, if you got the whole thing off your chest.
Out of this house!
News to me, that one, sir.
What?
She bought rat poison from the stores 7 months ago.
It's because when you checked the registers, you didn't go back far enough. That's why, Rowan.
But you did.
Correct.
And the Beardsley method, sir?
You haven't heard of that one, Rowan?
No, sir.
Neither has anybody else.
You made it up.
Well, we need a confession. It's the only way we're going to crack this one, so we'll leave it to stew for about 24 hours, then we'll have another go at her. You got some sort of problem with that, Rowan?
It's not my style, sir. Browbeating confused old ladies.
You disappoint me. I wouldn't have thought you were so squeamish.
No, sir.
Aidensfield Police. It is. Hello, Mr. Salter. What?
It's the Salters. They're ill again.
I can't believe it's happened again.
The symptoms are identical. I think it's Shields Green.
You what?
It's what happened to Claire Booth Luce.
Who?
She was the American ambassador to Rome. I've been reading up.
Kate, I haven't got the faintest idea what you're talking about.
Come here. Claire Booth Luce was suddenly struck down by arsenic poisoning. It was quite a scandal. Do you know what caused it?
What?
The ceiling. Dust, to be exact, falling from the ceiling of her bedroom. Copper arsenate was used as a pigment in paints for interior decoration, until someone cottoned on to the fact that one particular colour was poisoning people. Shields Green. Then it was banned.
Is this what happened to the Salters?
Well, I can't say for sure until this has been properly analysed. But the plaster they've disturbed must have been here for half a century at least. And they'll have been breathing it in pretty substantial quantities as they chipped away.
And Amy Dewhurst?
We'll never know, will we?
So the lab can confirm all of this, can they?
Yeah, they just did, Sarge. Substantial quantities of the arsenic compound have been found in the plaster.
So why have you come to me with this, and not Inspector Crosley?
Well, I did try and get him, Sarge, but he appears to be out of his office at present. So what I thought was perhaps I could leave you to tell him while I go and put Nancy Bellow's mind at rest.
I see. All right, Rowan. Off you go.
Sarge, there is one thing I still don't quite understand.
Oh, aye?
Why CID have kept such a low profile about all this. I mean, in view of the seriousness of the original allegations, presumably Inspector Crossley will have kept them informed, won't he?
Thank you, Rowan. Get me Divisional CID, please. Chief Superintendent Royston. Thank you.
Mr. Greengrass! Mr. Greengrass! Mr. Greengrass, come quickly!
Why is he? I'm busy.
Come on!
What? What's the matter?
Come on, just come quick!
Oh, hello, sir. Sergeant Blaketon over at Ashfordley. Aye, long time no see. Well, it's about these poisonings we've had up here. Bit of a turn-up for the book. But I'm sure Inspector Crosley has kept you fully informed. Oh, he hasn't.
It's a witch, mister! She's dead!
Where?
In there!
Oh. Come on. Oh, well. You better get an ambulance quick. Oh, no.
So what are her chances?
Well, about 50-50, sir.
And definitely attempted suicide.
She left a note, sir.
Oh? Saying what exactly?
Well, she protested her complete innocence of these poisonings that she's been accused of. And she was very distressed, apparently, that the police didn't believe her. Sergeant Blaketon. Oh, hello, sir. Yes, sir, he is. Thank you, sir. It's for you, sir. Chief Superintendent Royston, Divisional CID.
Sergeant.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, sir.
Gotcha.
Rowan. Why the hell didn't you come to me with this report about the plaster?
I couldn't find you, sir.
Then you should have hung on to it until you could, damn it!
Inspector,
Oh, so, how is she?
likely to pull through, thanks to my husband's prompt action. Otherwise, she'd be dead. You must feel very relieved, Inspector.
Would you care to amplify that remark, Doctor?
Well, I'd be happy to amplify it at the inquiry. There will be an inquiry, won't there, Inspector?
I won't forget this, Rowan.
Now then, how's Nancy doing then?
Oh, I think she'll be okay.
Thank the Lord for that. We're going into business together, you know.
Doing what?
Well, we've not got the cards printed yet. We're going to be merchandising conflagrational combustibles.
What?
Selling firewood. Gonna put you down for a few bundles.
When did you talk her into this?
Sometime next week with a bit of luck.
It's gone already.
According to Blaketon, who I last saw doing cartwheels round his office.
It's gone where exactly?
Oh, to wherever they send thrusting young inspectors caught poaching on the CID's patch.
So we're getting ourselves a new inspector then, Sarge?
Aye, Inspector Murchison is due to arrive sometime this morning.
So what's he like then?
Well, you tell me, lad.
Well, whoever it is, he's got to be an improvement on the last one.
That's enough of that out of you, Bellamy.
Sergeant Blaketon.
It is.
Inspector Murchison. I'm the new subdivisional inspector at Whitby.